Good morning, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns podcast. You can see it's dark outside. Yeah, I'm up early. I've got lots to do today. Have to run into town, do some other stuff. The only thing that I have been working on is my little circles for Llama Mama Kayla's mystery loom along. I have to do a dark one. And then I am ready to start sewing that first row together. I hope I hope all of you are joining us with this. It's a lot of fun, and it's kind of fun to try to guess as we go along to see what it is. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. The only things that I have made this week have been, those little scrap projects that I've been doing. And, I made another little ball cozy. And the next little scrap item comes once again from Happy Berry. And it's a little vampire. See, he's got a little blood on his teeth. It's really cute, easy to make. She has a whole set of like 5 of these characters. They're basically made the same way. And that is on her website, happyberry.co.uk. But I'm going to leave the link down below for the video tutorial, and from there you can go to her website. In order to get her free patterns, you do have to sign up on her website, but it's not that big a deal. Come on, folks. She does a lot of freebie patterns, and getting her newsletter is not going to be that big a deal, right? We all love crochet, knit, those kind of things. I thought today, since it's really short on content as far as items that I have made, I've continued to work on my sweaters and the baby blanket. I had started in that every which way. Those are the 2 things I've been working on besides the loom project. So I thought I'd just do some shout outs today. And there's a couple of them. There is Nonie Mae Crochet and Queens Crochet, South Carolina. That Yarney Zebra. And I will tell you, if you go see That Yarney Zebra, if you're having a down day, watch the video where she talks about kicking cancer's butt, beating cancer, and whips. It's 2 of her friends that have come to stay with her, and they videotaped, and it's hilarious because the one gal, Brenda, kept insisting that, here it is, look at her, she's acting all like it's real, like she's filming. It's really cute. It's a very funny video. So, go check that out. We have a couple of stories for the WIT incarnation. And since it's October, I'm going to try to keep these fairly short so that, you can move on and see things. One of the things that I thought was interesting is the story that DNA hints that the Loch Ness Monster might be a giant eel. That's a big eel. A scientist who collected DNA from Scotland's Loch Ness suggests the lake's fabled monster might be a giant eel. Neil Gemmell from the University of Otago in New Zealand says the project found a surprisingly high amount of eel DNA in the water. He cautioned that it's not clear whether that indicates a giant eel or just a lot of little ones. But he said at a news conference in Scotland on Thursday that the idea of a giant eel is at least plausible, and it is. The DNA project found no evidence to support the notion that the monster is a long-necked ancient reptile called plesiosaur. Loch Ness is the largest and second deepest body of fresh water in the British Isles. And it's beautiful there. Burglar cooks breakfast, tells resident, go back to sleep. This happened in Safety Harbor, Florida. Authorities say a burglar broke into a Florida home, cooked himself an early morning meal, and told the resident there to go back to sleep. The home's occupant told the investigators he awoke to discover the man cooking and eating sometime after 4 a.m. Tuesday. Fox 13 in Tampa reported the burglar ran from the house when the resident called 911. Deputies from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office tracked down the suspect in a wooded and swampy area behind the home. Deputies said Gavin Krim, a 19-year-old Marine, allegedly entered the home through an unlocked rear door. An arrest report mentioned that the suspect may have been under the influence of alcohol. You think? Most likely. Now, I hope you guys have seen the video of this, because I can imagine sitting in that chair waiting to have your hair done. It would be frightening to have a deer crash through the window and jump over you and hooves hit you in the head. Security cameras at a New York State hair salon captured the moment a deer crashed through the window of a hair salon business and ran loose inside. Video shared on Facebook by the Beautiful Hair Salon in Suffolk County, Long Island, shows the antlered buck crash through a large window, striking a woman sitting on a couch just inside the store. The deer ran around inside the store and escaped by ramming the door. The woman who was sitting on the couch was treated for minor injuries, and the owner of the salon said the deer didn't damage anything in the store except the window and the door. And it's a great video. Just go looking for the video of a deer crashing through the hair salon. This next one comes from military.com. I have friends who have been in the military, so many times I go to this website just to read stories and see what's going on. Was there really an exorcism at Fort Bragg? Director Osgood Perkins is set to begin production on a new horror movie called Incident at Fort Bragg. The studio has announced that it's based on a real-life incident involving Catholic priest Malachi Martin and the time that the Army asked him to perform an exorcism at the base. Martin was a famous guy back in the day who used the popularity of The Exorcist to make himself the go-to expert on the subject for magazines and TV shows. The internet doesn't easily cough up any details about the Bragg incident, and so far it's impossible to confirm the basis based on a true story angle here. Oz Perkins, son of Psycho star Anthony Perkins, certainly has horror movie skills in his genes. After bouncing around with mid-level acting career, he made his name with the controversial horror picks The Black Coat's Daughter and I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. I don't think I've seen either one of those. Now I'm going to have to go look for them. There's no word on whether the production will be allowed to shoot on the base, but there's a spoiler. No. They'll dress an abandoned convenience store in North Carolina or Georgia, depending on who has the best tax credit. Of course, they don't want to pay taxes, and expect no one to notice the difference. Except those of you in North Carolina and Georgia. You guys will know the difference. If there really was an exorcism on base at Fort Bragg that involved Martin, it would have taken place sometime between the early 60s and his death in 1999. Do any of our readers have the dope on this? If so, please comment and fill in below. I'm going to skip that story. No, we're not. U.S. Navy pilot says mystery dark mass emerged from ocean and swallowed torpedo. I love a good UFO story, or USO in this case. Commander David Fravor shot to fame for his account of the USS Nimitz UFO encounter, but he has now claimed something even spookier was spotted some 10 years earlier. A high-ranking U.S. Navy pilot has claimed a chilling dark mass was seen coming up from the depths of the ocean moments before a torpedo disappeared. 10 years before a world-famous incident. Retired U.S. Navy pilot commander David Fravor first shot to public attention in 2017 after describing how his squadron witnessed a 737-sized object just under the surface of the water during training exercises in the Pacific Ocean, 160 kilometers off the coast of San Diego, or kilometers. The incident, which happened in 2014, I'm having trouble this morning, became known as the USS Nimitz encounter after pilots then saw a tic-tac UFO in the skies near the mast. It's an explosive new account the pilot has shared, another UFO mystery that has come out of the woodwork since his story first emerged. Talking to Joe Rogan, Commander Fravor said another pilot once had a similar encounter in the late 1990s off the coast of Puerto Rico. He explained the pilot was flying an ACH-53 and was going back to pick up a BQM, an unmanned drone used by the U.S. Air Force. A diver was dropped into the water to hook it up and then to fly back. When something truly bizarre happened, they're 50 feet above the water. He sees this kind of dark mass coming up from the depths, he added. As they hoist the BQM up, he's looking at this thing going, "What the is that?" I bleeped it. And then it just goes back down underwater. Once they pull the kid and the BQM out of the water, this object descends back into the depths. The pilot thought the incident was pretty weird, but incredibly, the same thing happened a few months later. He's out picking up a torpedo. They hook the diver up on the winch, and as they're lowering him down, he sees this big mass. He goes, "It's not a submarine." He's seen submarines before. Once you've seen a submarine, you can't confuse it with something else, which is true. This big object, kind of circular, is coming up from the depths, and he starts screaming through the intercom system to tell them to pull the diver up, and the diver's only a few feet from the water. He continued, they reverse the winch, and the diver's thinking, "What the H is going on?" And all of a sudden, he said the torpedo just got sucked down underwater, and the object just descended back down into the depths. They never recovered it. Commander Fravor said the helicopter pilot was adamant the torpedo didn't sink, as it literally looked like it got sucked down. Now, some of you have seen this story on Facebook. Some of you tagged me in this story. You knew it was going to be part of WIT Incarnation, and it is. Arkansas woman arrested wearing bag of meth as hair bow. telling you. Sometimes you have to wonder about people. An Arkansas woman was arrested after a police officer discovered a small bag of methamphetamine disguised as a hair bow. And it's even funnier, the name of the place where it's at. Flippin'. Police officer pulled over 38-year-old Jessica Knopp after noticing her Dodge Neon had an expired registration. According to an affidavit published in the Baxter Bulletin, Knopp didn't immediately pull over, but instead drove around a nearby neighborhood before eventually coming to a stop. She reportedly told the officer that it was not her car and that her license was suspended. And she's driving. The officer ran Knopp's name through the system and found she had 5 outstanding warrants across several counties and towns. The officer told her to get out of the car. That's when he noticed a small plastic bag full of what appeared to be meth in her hair. The affidavit says the officer said, "You have a bow in your hair, made from a bag of meth." She said, "Shh, I didn't know that was here. Someone else put that there and I didn't know what it was." The officer found several more bags of meth and other drug paraphernalia. She was arrested on charges of possession of methamphetamine or cocaine with the purpose to deliver possession of drug paraphernalia, driving on a suspended driver's license, and no liability insurance. Her bond was set at $20,000. You know, you got to give her a little credit for wearing it as a hair bow, hoping it would just go by and nobody noticed. Okay, folks, I've got to get moving. Like I said, I have a lot of things that I have to do today. And I do want to get back and finish cutting bags and start sewing. I have a bag that I'm working on for someone's special order. And I don't have zippers that will go with the bag. So I've got to go find some zippers for the bag. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I will see you again tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. And remember, choose kindness. I did forget one thing. If you go to my channel and go over on under the tab that says Community, I have put the twin V-stitch wrap and scarf pattern up there. It wasn't what I expected setting it up. I've also entered a poll that I'd like for you to answer, if you would. So please go check those out. Thanks.